So we are 24 hours away from John Cena being back on Raw, and for the first time seeing him as a proper heel. Now, after thinking about it, I do believe he needs to become the WWE champion. And the reason this is so damn fun is because A, we never expected to be in this position to begin with, but also I had done all my nerd fantasy booking. As soon as it was kind of clear that we were going to do Cody versus John Cena, I was like, brilliant. John Cena could go for his 17th World Championship. Cody Rhodes can beat him because that's quite the stamp of approval. Then Cody Rhodes can go on some flight of fancy with the WWE Championship, likely lose it when John Cena takes on somebody else in December at the John Cena Mega Have Fun pay-per-view. Oh, I'm off now. Goodbye. Never to see you again. He can win and he can retire with the title. Well, that's all gone up in smoke now because John Cena is the villain. And to do that from this position would be a little bit lame. I mean, I guess you could still do it and he loses at WrestleMania and then goes on a journey of redemption. But who the flub wants that? You've been waiting for this heel turn for 25 years, essentially. There is no need to turn it into, well, once again, a fairy tale. That's the best word for it. And it's way better served having a lot of fun with it. And the reason we did it is to have fun. And I presume because John Cena was like, well, I would like to do that before I do retire, which means he just has to win the championship at WrestleMania 41. And it's not going to hurt Cody Rhodes because you just know he is going to win in the most ridiculous way possible. You may even get the fabled third man, it's like we're in 1996 again, if we are to believe The Rock's fingers. That's the weirdest sentence I will ever say. But it goes back to one of my biggest bugbears in wrestling. And Shinsuke Nakamura always comes to mind when I talk about this, but I'll use him as an example. But if you turn somebody heel and then they aren't able to achieve their direct goals, if you are booking them like a geek, then it's perfectly fine because you're booking them like a geek. That's your intended purpose with it. But John Cena is never going to be booked like a geek, especially not heel John Cena. I would actually get mad. If you're watching my content, I don't get mad about wrestling very often. But when Shinsuke Nakamura turned heel and punched AJ Styles right in his special place, the whole point was it's because he wasn't able to beat him. He can't win the championship. And then he still wasn't able to win the championship. So you're like, all right, you threw your moral code out the window, and what did you get for it? Nothing. Apart from, again, he really did punch AJ Styles in the balls a lot. If you weren't watching wrestling then, well, this is how crazy it is, right? AJ Styles, one of the best of all time. Shinsuke Nakamura, people do not put the respect on that man's name because they've totally forgotten. The WWE feud, as awesome as it was from a how the hell did we get here point of view, I mean, it wasn't bad by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't believe it lived up to expectations, and a huge reason was because the story was all over the place. So if John Cena has just turned his back on all those kids that were growing up with him, all the wrestlers that were inspired by him, the whole hustle, loyalty, respect stuff, that's now in the toilet. If he is going to get rid of it and he isn't able to allow it to serve his purpose, and he isn't allowed to use that in order to become the champion and win number 17, which is going to be the record according to the WWE history books, then I think everybody has gone nuts. And I think the reason I like it the most is because if I had told you that back in November 2024, you would have called me crazy. But there's no way he's going to win number 17 as a bad guy. But I think a lot of people, when they are approaching the end of their careers, do start thinking about their legacy. And I imagine most people don't actually care about that. They know what they have done, they haven't done. But I do think, especially from a debate point of view, that realizing John Cena broke the record as a bad guy, like John Cena, the proverbial babyface, never going to turn heel because he sells too much merchandise and kids like him too much. For him to be able to break that record, like I say, as a villain, I think is absolutely wonderful. And I think it would be a missed opportunity. And Cody Rhodes is gold. Cody Rhodes is protected. Like, that's still what people are saying. Oh no, Cody's going to get booed at WrestleMania. Good. You're a wrestler. You're a performer. You should know how to go out there and have as much fun with this as possible. And it's going to be fun for the fans. And it's a crazy matchup, right? It's properly fantasy booking. Reddit up the Wim Wham fantasy matchup booking. So I think there has to be caveats to it. I think you have to understand that what happens on that night may not be what happens on the next night. I can totally see a world where on Sunday night people are cheering because they're so happy John Cena is a heel. The Rock does something dumb, Travis Scott will do something dumb to annoy everyone, and then Seth Rollins does someone dumb. I don't think it is going to be Seth Rollins, but picking a name out of a hat in order to cost Cody Rhodes. And then come that Raw, everybody will do John Cena's faction and everybody will be behind Cody Rhodes. Like, it's just the way that it's going to go down. And I also think, given that we are going to have a 2-night SummerSlam, I don't know whether you do it this soon. Maybe you do wait until December. But you now have the option to do Cody versus John Cena round 2 for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam. Or maybe you do some kind of big tag team match with The Rock. Again, we have 2 main events for this year's SummerSlam. And you do The Rock and John Cena versus, I don't know, Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. You don't think that's not going to be major? Cena? Because I do. And you also have the option, and we're getting into the weeds here, as they say, so you'll have to forgive me, that John Cena beats Cody Rhodes, and then John Cena goes off and has a feud with CM Punk, which people would go crazy for. And the reason Cody Rhodes gets distracted is because he goes into his program with Randy Orton. Then maybe at SummerSlam, you do John Cena versus CM Punk, and you do Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes, but the WWE title isn't on the line. When we get to December, that's when you do John Cena versus Cody Rhodes Part 2. Cody Rhodes wins his championship back. Cody Rhodes, as WWE is telling us, is QB1, the main quarterback, and I think I talked about this on the video the other day, so I don't really want to go over old ground too much. But yes, Cody will be the guy to quote-unquote retire John Cena. He also wins his championship back, and because it is his last occasion, everybody's going to be in love with Big Match John anyway. He can magically turn babyface, which has happened many a time in the wrestling business, before he skips off into the sunset. And I'm sure he'll be on television again, but he won't be wrestling any other matches. And John Cena's always quite clearly been a guy that's like, how do I give back? How do I give back? It's one of the reasons he wanted to do these 12 months, even though he has essentially transitioned to Hollywood these days. And Cody Rhodes is 39 years old. Maybe he's 40 next year, but again, he's still got at least 5 years in him, if not longer. So it doesn't need to be coronated because he's already been coronated. But this is like the whole Brock Lesnar Undertaker WrestleMania 30 Street argument, but it's different because I don't think this has a much gravitas to it in the sense we're not talking about a streak. But one of the best reasons, or one of the best pros for Brock Lesnar being that guy is because for the next 10 years, he was booked like the final boss, and it all started here. Whereas Cody Rhodes, again, is going to be able to fly through with even more muster and gusto momentum if he is the dude, not only to win his championship back from John Cena, but to almost end his heel terror reign because he was able to get the victory over him. And also, if The Rock does want to wrestle at WrestleMania 41, that could tie in there as well. Maybe it's even Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes versus John Cena versus The Rock at SummerSlam to build to all of that as well. So nobody ever thought that John Cena was going to turn heel. So we can't sit here and go, well, that's never going to happen. That's preposterous. Whatever you can come up with now in a wrestling scenario, as long as it sort of lives in the world of reality and could happen, it's probably going to happen at some point, right? So who's never coming back to WWE? I don't know. I can't think of anybody now. As long as they're still alive and they're walking around, you're probably going to see them on WWE TV again. And I think it will be the thing that not WrestleMania 41 lives and dies on, but I think it's the secret seed to just make it feel like a WrestleMania. Because again, Cody versus John Cena, good guy versus good guy, would have been brilliant anyway, but this is just something else. It's like we moved to the planet Mars, and there's a bunch of aliens running around, and somehow they control all of this. And again, tomorrow night, if you are watching this on the Sunday, we are getting the Cody Rhodes John Cena promo battle. Maybe we don't get that far because we've got weeks till WrestleMania, so you could hold it off. But you just know eventually Cody Rhodes is going to go totally nuts at John. You did that, and you did this, and you turned your back on this, you betraying Barry. And John Cena's going to say fine speech. It will all be approved beforehand because Cody gets it. My gosh, that's a businessman. John Cena is going to tear Cody Rhodes a new one, and we are going to be talking about it for ages. And we're going to make videos about it, and people are going to go social media about it. And some people are going to go, oh my gosh, he cooked Cody too hard. Now, what are we going to do? But that's what people want from this. Arguably, John Cena's best trait is his promo ability, or just his understanding of his character. So we get to WrestleMania, and he hasn't cut one sort of, again, just emotionally destroying promo onto Cody Rhodes. Once again, it's a missed opportunity. And of course, John Cena wants to do this. Like, he understands pro wrestling, which is one of the reasons he probably didn't push for a heel turn as much. Because again, well, where's the money being made? The clue is in the name. It is a business. But he did an interview with Chris Van Vliet, or whoever the flub it was. I think he's done a few of them. He definitely did the Chris Van Vliet one, where he was like, we're going to turn heel, then we changed our mind sort of 10 years ago. Whereas when we do it, we're going to do it right. Maybe I won't turn up for the show for a while. We've already pulled that trigger. So you're going to get someone who I do believe it's going to be not controversial. I don't need that in my life. We've seen that too many times before, especially like WCW days. But I think you'll get someone who will be way close to that line and absolutely steps over to it, which is my crazy bet that I keep going back to. And again, I could be totally wrong. I understand that. Is that you may get a proper AEW reference. Just one. But it won't be you started another company or you went out there and tried to find competition against the WWE. He's probably going to be the first guy since Sami Zayn. Although maybe you wouldn't do that because John Cena is such a big star. Maybe WWE would be worried that it would cause ramifications, but I really don't think it would increase their audience by any real amount. But I do think it would create such a stir that actually even mentioning somebody else's name would somehow get more people to watch WWE because they're just operating in a different stratosphere right now. So John Cena has to win. And I'm not rooting for him from a fan point of view because again, Cody is my guy. We have to support the hero. I like to play into my role, for lack of a better term. It's also what I want. But yeah, when I put my geek hat back on, I would be absolutely devastated. I just don't think it's smart. I don't think it's the right thing to do. We have entered the twilight zone. And if you are going to take the brave step, which we did do, you have to lean into that as much as possible. And John Cena being the champion, can you imagine that Raw after WrestleMania with those kind of fans and everything we do since? I also think if wrestling is an attraction-based business, which it is, there's almost more worth in buying a ticket to see a show to see the heel champion John Cena than there is the 17th world time babyface champion John Cena, because that's just going to be an offshoot of what he did before. He'll be saying the same stuff. You'll love him, hustle, loyalty, and respect. Whereas now, you just never know what he's going to say. And if he's trying to catch up for missed time or lost time or the opportunity that he never had, knowing he's retiring in December. I saw somebody say, oh, he's gone bad guy because he's going to renege on that. I don't think so. He's going to get loads of Hollywood opportunities from his. He's not going to have the time anyway. So you may as well stick to the timeline. But yeah, he needs to make sure he gets all his heel shtick in before he's never able to do it again. Because once he retires, even on that night, no one's ever booing him again. They're just not. Once again, maybe we play the role until that point, but after that, there's no going back. It's the end. No halfway there, no Bon Jovi. He's going to be a babyface legend, good guy at that hierarchical level for the rest of his career, the rest of his life, basically. So you have to have at least one promo. The Cody Rhodes has to be the guy. And that's what's so exciting about it as well. We kind of touched upon it. The Cody Rhodes stuff cannot go on from now till December. Like, even the greatest booker ever would have struggling with that story. So you have to do the CM Punk match, especially when CM Punk absolutely went nuts on John Cena on that Raw. Maybe you go to the Randy Orton stuff. I don't think I would do that. I don't think it works. But you could do. Randy Orton is a mega babyface right now, unless he does turn heel on Cody Rhodes. But think of all the good guys on the other side. You could do Sami Zayn versus John Cena. Like, you actually could. And to see those two, not with the roles reversed, because Sami Zayn, well, he has been a heel, but I think people always beloved him deep down. It would just blow my brain. I mean, I don't really quite understand how we got here. And while CM Punk is the biggest name on the babyface side, you could do a Seth Rollins versus a John Cena. I can't see Seth turning anytime soon, although he absolutely could. And you could even do Roman Reigns versus John Cena again. Because Roman Reigns ain't going to get booed now. Again, he's entered a crazy stratosphere where people just love him. So I think WWE has, well, whoever, The Rock, John Cena, I don't know who made the call, but whoever it was, it's the kind of world I want to live in, especially based on the fact in 2024 that we did it with The Rock. And I think Dwayne Johnson has been, even the crazy stuff he's been doing, I always make sure I go out of my way to watch it properly. And I think that's saying something. I suppose my big nerd want with John Cena is that if we see Cena on WWE TV, I get why The Rock does it. He's part of the company and he's doing it for PR reasons. I don't want any of that. If I put on Raw, I put on SmackDown, I put on a PLE or a pay-per-view, whatever bad guy John Cena is, that's who I want to see. So I'm sure I'll see normal John Cena in my real life. When I'm watching my WWE television programs, I want to be able to suspend my disbelief and be like, man, you really are a horrible person. Think about it when John Cena wins his first match or defends that championship by cheating. Oh, he's going to be so good, and I'm going to do some backflips. And yes, I know he has done some dreadful things in his babyface run. For example, all the Zack Ryder and Eve Torres stuff. Still one of the weirdest things WWE has ever decided to do for someone that was meant to be a mega over babyface. It wasn't like a Steve Austin, who was meant to sort of, walk both paths, for lack of a better term. John Cena was meant to be like the guy you looked up to. And he stole somebody's girlfriend and got them thrown off of a stage by Kane. No idea what was going on there. But yes, I'm putting all my chips on red right now. John Cena will win that championship at WrestleMania 41. And he'll probably hold it all the way through to December, which means 3/4 of his retirement year. He will be WWE champion. Then he'll drop it in December. It's the only way to go. Now, of course, I will be wrong because I'm an absolute idiot, but my goodness, I need it. Now, of course, we have a comment section. Please do let me know what you think, especially if you don't think John Cena should win the World Championship. That's way more interesting than what I presented, so drop me a comment down there. Please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Click the notification bell. That's massively important, especially for a mobile. Click the video on the screen to hear me talk about SmackDown and Aleister Black and Phoenix coming back to the Fed, as people have started calling it again for no reason. And make sure you get yourself some merchandise as well if you're European or UK, go to simonmiller.bigcartel.com. Americans, go to prowrestlingtees.com/Simon Miller. I'm just trying to save you money right now. My Baldy t-shirt is doing surprisingly well, so that's awesome. Otherwise, it's patreon.com/Simon316, grillmine.com/Simon. You can get 10% off all the fitness supplements that I use in my real life and my wrestling life too. Simon316 on social media, Simon J. Miller on TikTok, Simon Miller for cameos, and I do believe that that is everything. And again, just to sum it up in nice headline form, the John Cena heel turn decision is one of the best that WWE has ever done. Screw modern times. I'm talking from day dot. And of course, we have to ruin it by going, which turn was better, John Cena or Hulk Hogan? I'm just glad we got both of them, okay? That's how wrestling works. I don't want to pick and choose. I want to get as much as I can do because I'm an expectant fan, also known as asshole. I'll see you soon.